Let me start with a question that will keep echoing in your head long after this video ends. If you could secretly read the private thoughts of every woman you've ever met, the things she never says out loud, not even to her best friend, what would you discover? Would you find a perfect checklist of physical traits, wealth, and status? Or would you uncover something more subtle? A pattern of unspoken desires, unarticulated needs, quiet yearnings that she might not even consciously understand herself? Because here's the thing, most women don't fully know how to explain what they crave in a man until they feel it. And when they feel it, they can't ignore it. It's not about type. It's about presence. And presence is built. Today, I'm going to share with you 10 suggestions drawn directly from the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, on suggestions that reveal not just what women secretly crave, but how to become the kind of man who naturally gives it without trying to manipulate or pretend. I'm warning you, these are not tricks, gimmicks, or pickup hacks. They are principles. They will require you to step up, to grow, to sharpen yourself. But if you commit to them, you won't need to convince women to like you. They will feel drawn to you, and they won't always know why. So, hit that subscribe button, tap like, and listen all the way to the end, because once you understand this, your love life will never be the same. Foundation: ancient Rome and the timeless game. I want you to picture ancient Rome, not the Hollywood version, but the real thing. The sun setting over marble temples, market stalls overflowing with spices from the east, legionnaires marching in perfect formation, senators whispering in corridors about politics, power, and alliances. And somewhere in a quiet chamber lit only by the flicker of oil lamps sits Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the empire, writing in his private journal. Not speeches for the Senate, not declarations for the army, just notes to himself, reminders of how to live with virtue, discipline, and clarity in a world designed to corrupt and distract. He knew something that most men today don't. That power is meaningless without self-mastery, and self-mastery is one of the most attractive qualities a man can have. Because here's the truth, the women of ancient Rome may have worn different clothes and spoken a different language, but their instincts were the same as women today. They didn't just want protection or provision. They wanted a man whose inner world was solid enough that the chaos of life could never shake it. That hasn't changed in 2,000 years. So let's go through these 10 suggestions in depth. 1. The calm in her storm. Marcus wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." In the modern world, emotional stability is like gold, rare, valuable, and easily spotted by those searching for it. When a woman's emotions are turbulent, stress from work, family drama, personal doubts, she's not looking for a man who matches her chaos. She's looking for one who grounds her without dismissing her. Here's what most men get wrong. They think calm means being cold or detached. But true calm is different. It's steady. It's warm. It listens without rushing to fix. It's a presence that says, "We're not going to sink just because the waves are high right now." Let me give you an example. A friend of mine, James, was dating a woman who was in the middle of changing careers and stressful, uncertain, unpredictable. Most guys in his position would have gotten frustrated at her mood swings. Instead, James kept showing up the same way every day. Steady voice, unshaken tone, never reacting to her volatility with his own. The result? She started leaning on him more, not in a dependent way, but because his steadiness made her storms feel smaller. Here's my question for you. When the people around you get emotional, do you become their echo or their anchor? 2. Depth over noise. Marcus warned, "It is not worth getting upset about the opinions of those who see neither the truth nor the whole picture." The modern dating market is full of noise, endless social media flexes, men performing for likes, validation, and attention. And yet, if you watch closely, you'll see that women are rarely truly drawn to the loudest man in the room. They're drawn to the man whose energy makes others lower their voice without realizing it. In Roman times, senators didn't respect the one who shouted the most. They respected the one whose measured words carried more weight than another man's entire speech. Today, women notice the same thing. The man who doesn't compete for attention, but naturally draws it because there's a centeredness to him. Think about it. When you speak, are you filling silence out of nervousness, or letting silence work for you? Are you broadcasting your worth in every conversation, Or are you living in a way that makes people curious about you without you even trying? 3. Unshakable purpose. Marcus said, "Stop talking about what the good man is like, be one." A man without a mission is like a ship without a compass when it drifts until it hits rocks. In dating, drifting looks like this. A man who builds his entire life around a woman because he has nothing else. At first, she might enjoy the attention, but over time, it suffocates her. Why? Because she realizes she's the only thing keeping him from collapsing. Women feel more secure when they sense that a man's life already has direction, with or without them. Your mission might be your career, your craft, your self-development. It doesn't matter what it is as long as it matters to you. In ancient Rome, a soldier's loyalty was to Rome first, then to his personal relationships. It's not that he didn't love his family, it's that his purpose was bigger than any single relationship. That's what gave him strength. Ask yourself, if someone took away your relationship tomorrow, would you still know where you're going? 4. Restraint is power. Marcus Aurelius could have had anything he wanted: wealth, women, luxury, and yet he often chose restraint. He wrote about temperance not because he lacked access to pleasure, but because he understood something most men never learn. When you can say no to what you want, you gain control over everything you need. In the modern dating world, restraint is magnetic. Why? Because most men do the opposite. They over-message, overshare, overgive in the early days. They smother her with constant availability, thinking this will make her feel secure. But it doesn't. It makes her feel the opposite, and that your time is cheap, that your attention is desperate. I'm not talking about playing hard to get. I'm talking about being genuinely busy with a life that matters. I'm talking about not rearranging your entire week for someone you just met. I'm talking about boundaries. Restraint is power because it tells her, I'm not just a man who reacts to every impulse. I choose where my energy goes. And whether she admits it or not, that makes her respect you more. Think about it. What's more valuable? A diamond you can buy in any store, or one hidden deep in the earth that takes time and effort to reach? 5. A mind that challenges her. Marcus Aurelius didn't surround himself with flatterers. He sought advisors and philosophers who would tell him the truth, even when it was uncomfortable. A woman may smile when you agree with everything she says, but deep down she doesn't respect it. Why? Because it's too easy. She knows you're doing it to keep her happy, not because you truly believe it. The men who leave the deepest impression on a woman's mind are the ones who challenge her thinking, who respectfully disagree, who brings her ideas, perspectives, and questions she's never considered. In ancient Rome, debates in the forum were a sport. Two minds clashing, not to destroy each other, but to sharpen each other. This is what you should aim for in conversation. Not arguments, not ego battles, but intellectual engagement leaves her thinking long after the conversation ends. If you're afraid to ever say, I see it differently, you're not a partner. You're an accessory, and accessories are replaceable. 6. Command of your desires. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius reflected on the fleeting nature of pleasure. He reminded himself not to be controlled by what was temporary. Modern men fail this test every day. They chase every impulse, food, drink, lust, entertainment, without realizing how it makes them look. Because here's the thing, women are always watching how you handle temptation. If she sees that you can't control your own cravings, how can she trust you to control the direction of your life? Self-control doesn't mean never enjoying yourself. It means you choose your moments. It means you can walk away from something even when you want it because you know it's not in your best interest. This is why a man who can say no to certain opportunities, even certain women, gains an almost mysterious power in her eyes. She wonders what makes him so selective, and that question draws her closer. 7. Quiet confidence. Confidence is loud when it's fake, quiet when it's real. Marcus Aurelius didn't have to prove his authority. It was understood. And the same principle applies today. Quiet confidence is in your body language, in your ability to speak without rushing, in the way you meet her gaze without flinching. Most men try to perform with confidence. They brag, they flex, they fill every silence with stories meant to impress. But true confidence doesn't need an audience. It doesn't need approval. And women feel it instantly, Mom, because it's rare. Quiet confidence tells her, I'm enough as I am. I don't need to sell you on me. And paradoxically, that makes her want to buy in even more. 8. Emotional availability without weakness. Marcus Aurelius felt deeply. His writings are filled with reflections on loss, love, and mortality. But he never let those feelings turn him into a victim. Here's the balance. Women want to feel emotionally connected to you, but they don't want you to become emotionally dependent on them. You can listen to her fears, share your own, and still remain centered. That's what creates trust. A man who hides all his emotions is hard to love. A man who spills them uncontrollably is hard to respect. The sweet spot is being open without being overwhelmed. 9. Consistency over time. Anyone can be charming for a week. Few can be reliable for a year. Marcus Aurelius didn't live by moods. He lived by principles. He didn't decide to be disciplined only when it was convenient. He decided once and kept the decision. Women watch for this. They test for it. Will you still keep your word when it's inconvenient? Will you still treat her with respect when you're tired or stressed? Will you still pursue your purpose when no one's cheering you on? Charm gets her attention. Consistency earns her trust. Without trust, attraction fades. 10th, a legacy mindset. Marcus lived as if every action would echo after his death. Most men live for the weekend. The next drink. The next dopamine hit. But women, at least the ones worth building with, are drawn to men who think long-term. It's in the way you take care of your health, the way you manage your money, the way you plan for the future. A legacy mindset says, I'm not just living for me. I'm building something that will matter when I'm gone. And when she senses that, she feels she's stepping into a story bigger than just the two of you. Closing reflection. These 10 suggestions aren't just a checklist for impressing women. They're a roadmap for becoming a man who commands respect in every area of life. When you live like Marcus Aurelius, with self-mastery, purpose, and quiet strength, you won't have to wonder what women crave. You'll embody it. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.